Sunny ASMR. Hello. Hi. Hello there. And welcome, 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 or he's drinking wine.